Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and welcome to another music collection update. I've got a lot of stuff to show you guys, so I'm just gonna get right into it. First up is the debut album by the band KKs Priest, of course led by former guitarist of Judas Priest, KK Downing. From what I understand, this KK Downing was actually in retirement for quite a while, and then he came out of retirement and then formed this band, and then of course they released their first album a couple of days ago actually. But yeah, really cool, and yeah, it's awesome. Alright, next up is an album I already had on CD, and now I finally have it on vinyl, and that's The Sound of Perseverance by Death, my second favorite Death album. Yeah, sure, I guess some people might not want this considering that it doesn't really have any bonus tracks, but I don't really care because most of the bonus tracks on these Death album reissues are pretty much just demos of songs that are already on the album, and I could, I don't really mind. As long as it has the Painkiller cover on, I'm good. But yeah, really cool. Alright. Next up is the album The Nocturnal Silence by the band Necrophobic. Yeah, very underrated death metal band from the 90s. Hold on, there's some dust on here. Anyway, very underrated band. Of course, this is their debut album. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but the album art kind of reminds me of the album art from the album Legion by Deicide. Yeah, sure, it's different, but I don't know. For some reason, it kind of reminds me of that. Alright, next up, another death metal album, the self-titled debut album by the band Master. Something funny about this one, hold on. Something funny about this one is that, okay, so a couple of days ago, I went to my local record store, right? And I was looking for this album, and they didn't have it. So then I went back home, and then bought it off of eBay. Literally a couple of days later, like 2 days later, I went back to my local record store to get, a couple of other albums, and they had it. So before they didn't have it, I went back home, went on eBay, got it, and literally the next day after, they had the album in the store already. So I guess if I just waited a few more, like 2 more days, I could have gotten it from my record store. But whatever. I got either way, it doesn't matter because I got the album. But yeah. Anyway. Okay, next up is another early, I guess you could kind of say it's death metal, maybe not, but that is the album Strapato by the band Slaughter. Very good band, unfortunately very short-lived. They only ever put out this album and then a couple of demos. But yeah, really cool. Alright, next up is another short-lived band, and that's the compilation album by the band Goat Lord. This is their 1987 demo and their 1988 rehearsal. Yeah, very cool. So for some reason, a lot of their releases are really hard to find. Of course, this demo, there's this compilation album and another one that are pretty easy to find. But in terms of their main discography, well, they only ever had 2 full-length albums, but those are kind of hard to find for some reason. I don't know why, but at least I got something from them, or 2 things actually. I'll show the other thing in a minute. But yeah, and yes, despite the like very like not like very sort of like crude artwork, this is not a bootleg. This is actually legit artwork from the band. Not a bootleg. Anyway, next up is another compilation album by the same band. The last Sodomy of Mary. This is later in their career. Of course, the other one I showed is demos from very early in their career. This is demos from very late in their career. 2 different vocalists also, from 2 different sets of demos. Anyway, so before I end this video, I have 2 other things I want to show. They're not music related, but they are things I've gotten recently as well. And that is Dracula, Prince of Darkness, and The Evil Frankenstein. 2 Hammer horror films. I haven't seen these before. The only Hammer horror films I've seen is the Mummy, Horror of Dracula, and Curse of Frankenstein. So it's good to, get more of these from the ones that I've seen before. Love them, so can't wait to watch these ones. Alright, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.